Assalamu alaikum. Nothing but the
Alaikum.
truth is back. I'm telling you, this is a great week. This is another edition, a very special edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil.
and Sister Tisha.
That's right.
And we are glad to have you with us tonight, brothers and sisters, because our very special guest, who you'll meet in just a moment, is a brother who literally has seen or been involved in or helped to make happen every historic event over the last almost 50 years in the Nation of Islam. You don't want to miss tonight's guest. He'll be with you in just a moment. But first, I want to just introduce you and present to many of you the world's most beautiful hostess. She's with us tonight. She's Sister Tisha Muhammad. Sister Tisha?
Welcome, family. Welcome to another episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We are so excited to have you all here tonight. We want to remind you to come on in, invite a friend, be sure to join in on the chat. We want to hear what questions you have. We want to hear what comments you want to make to our special guest. Before you do all of that, please go over to our YouTube page, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, and go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to that page. We need you to help us grow this platform. And then after you do that, hop on over to our YouTube page. I already said that. Sorry, don't do that. Sashay over to our Facebook page, Tisha Muhammad, and go ahead and do the same. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay? Tell a friend.
Okay. All right. And brothers, don't use sachet. Okay. You
Oh,
you let the sisters sachet. You stroll on over there.
Sashay.
No sachet. Tonight you may notice us attired and draped in the keffiyeh,
Mm.
the traditional head covering, shoulder covering, and um, garment of the Palestinian people. Our brothers and sisters in Palestine remain the target of a terrible attack and a major catastrophe. Our prayers are with them as they seek to survive an attack, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, without precedent, and a real beastly behavior is being inflicted upon them. But we are with you tonight to keep them in our prayers, and we remind you to support the freedom of people all over the world, in the Sudan, in the Congo. We want you to support in Haiti,
Mhm.
support in the cities of America and the Western world, the freedom of the oppressed from the hands of the oppressor. That's just a message, not that we're going to be preachy or get on a soapbox, but we haven't forgotten the plight of our people, and we don't intend to by God's grace. Tonight, a very special guest. As people begin coming into the room, want to welcome some
Yes.
of our family. There's my home skillet from Cincinnati, the great Cherie Bassett. Yeah, we grew up together. We still hang out together. That's the home skillet right there. Good to see you, Cherie. And all the folks who are gathering from around the country to join us on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Humble
Right.
Harmony is here in the house. And when you got Humble Harmony, you got strength, as you can see from the graphic
Welcome,
on the screen.
welcome.
All right. Welcome. Everybody get yourselves comfortable. Get a glass of your favorite beverage, soft drink beverage, and make
Mhm.
sure that you become a part of the discussion. Tonight's guest really, in some circles, needs no introduction. But Tisha, if it's all right, I'm going to go ahead and bring him before the cameras because people want to take time to talk to our brother.
Right. We have to have enough time because he has so much to share.
Yes, indeed.
I want
Yes,
to hear it
indeed.
all.
All right. He is our brother, longtime helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the city of Philadelphia, from Muhammad Mosque number 12, lovingly known as the top of the clock. Our brother is with us. He has served in many capacities
Mm.
as a first officer and a lieutenant and a drill instructor and a friend and an inspector and an encourager and a motivator, a father, a husband, a friend, a neighbor, and I have to say, by means of transparency, one of my greatest friends on the planet. He is our brother, the founder of Photo Posse Incorporated, those who have recorded history all over the world. And you might be lucky enough to see some Photo Posse photos tonight if we can get them cleared from the owner who'll be with us in just a moment, who may clear some of those photos for us to show on the air. But let's bring him forward at this time. He's my brother and your brother, the Philadelphia legend and the Nation of Islam treasure,
Oh, we
Brother
missed it.
Errol C. Muhammad. Brother Errol, are you there, brother?
Yes, sir. So like,
There he is. Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam. How are you tonight, my dear brother?
fine by God's grace. How y'all doing today?
All praise is due to Allah,
Uh,
brother. There's a lot to be said tonight. And I'm
So
looking here as we gather. There's Brother Lyle coming into the room. Good to see you, Brother Lyle. Brother David C. Muhammad. Dave C. is on 75 South heading to Florida. It is my hope that he's not driving and watching and texting at the same time. I hope that his teammate is driving or doing something like that. Sister Juanita's in the room, Brother Earl. So many are gathering from around the planet, around the city of Philadelphia, and all the world. Tonight's program is entitled From the Top of the Clock to the World.
come on.
mhm.
Brother, you've been a part of everything that has happened, really, that the minister's been doing for these last almost 48 years. Tell me, Brother Earl, what was it like to be a foundational stone at the beginning of the rebuilding effort of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? That's fascinating to me.
Yes, yes. So like,
Islam.
first and foremost, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me on this show, and it's definitely a blessing, and I'm very humbled by it. Let me give you a little background. My mother and father, Ethel and Errol X, were members of the Nation of Islam in the early
That's
days,
right. That's right.
and unfortunately, at some point, they dissolved their relationship.
Mhm.
So I continued to strive, and I would like sometimes sneak to the mosque
Oh,
during my
wow.
grocery store visits or going out to play. I would sneak to the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
Then, unfortunately, I ended up in a group home, and in the group home, I saw a brother named Ari AX. This is during the time of the fall of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mhm.
I wanted to definitely stay and continue with the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So he kept it alive for a while, but it just wasn't quite hitting me. And ironically, I'm gonna show this picture right here. This picture
Okay.
was always hanging around my house, and this is
Mhm.
what kept me motivating and looking for Minister Farrakhan. And here you see Brother Farrakhan and Minister Larry at the time.
Mhm.
That was in Jamaica. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
That kept me motivated. So then, as we
Oh,
started growing and growing and growing, then I ran into a brother named Brother Eric, 23X, and
Yes, sir.
then I ran into Brother Jerome, um, ex Hunter at the time, and Jerron, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And we started working together and striving to meet up with the minister. And my first visit to meet the minister was down in Virginia. He was still Abdul Alim Farrakhan at the time.
Yes,
That's
sir.
the award Muhammad had given him. And at that meeting, I decided that, me and Brother Eric decided we are going to back the minister. And
wow.
ironically, the ministers happened to say that he was going to be in Philadelphia in the following week. So
Mhm.
me and Brother Eric went and got some flyers made up without permission, let everybody know that the minister was coming to speak to the Black Lawyers Association. But we didn't know it was at the Hilton, the Penn Tower, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
But the funny part was that it was a private meeting.
Oh,
So
wow. And y'all invited
yes,
all these people?
lines of people. So we really walked from one part of the city to the other part, handing out flyers. So, but the minister loved the fact that we did the work, and he was pleased with that. So
Praise be to Allah. And that was in 1978, early 78,
it's
I
early
think.
77, actually 70, the end of 77. Yeah.
Wow,
Mm.
wow. And so at this time, Brother Earl, teacher, do you mind if I ask a couple of questions? Because this is
Yeah, because I'm
still
really listening. I
fascinating to
want to
me.
know what's going on.
Still fascinating to me because when the first final call
Mm-hmm.
came out, there's another old photo posse photo that Brother Earl may or may not release in this format or some else elsewhere else. But there's a photo of Brother Earl and Brother Eric 23 receiving the newspaper, The
Yeah,
Ultimate Challenge, the survival
Black
of
Nation.
the Black Nation.
So,
The first final call to unload the trucks and then take the message into the streets for our people. This places you, brother, in a very rarefied circle. There are some people who are still around, of course, the brother Earl, brother Eric, we're still here. Sister Dawn up in Newark, New
yeah,
Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all of these soldiers who are still moving and working in the cause. But Brother Earl, you have to understand that the historical spirit was very necessary. What was it like traveling in a group of men so small back then? I was soon to come right after that, but I mean, what was it like, brother, to you?
well, the beauty of it was for me was after you read the history of the nation and what the brothers and sisters went through in the early days. I'm talking about in the 30s and the 40s and
Hmm.
50s. I would say to myself, I wish I was back then when it was like really pure and uncut and push and drive. And then Allah bless us to really be in that kind of predicament because now we're really rebuilding the nation of Islam.
Yes,
So
sir.
that was the spirit, and we had something a blueprint to go by. It kept us motivated. We was tight. We was I mean we were soldiering the way we were soldiering. We thought this thing would be over with by now. This is the
Hmm.
spirit that we had.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
In other words, this wouldn't last more than 4 or 5 years. It'd be done.
Hmm.
America be gone. We'd be
Mm.
in paradise. That's the mindset that we had at that time.
Right, right.
So,
Amazing, amazing. And so I come now to the effort, if you will, in 1978. In the summer of 1978, I come.
right now,
And
when I met you, it was funny because you had a white, I believe it was Adidas sweatsuit, and you handed me a letter. I'm like, who this brother handed me this letter for to give to the minister, right?
Right.
You don't know Farrakhan. So I actually gave it to our dear brother Josh. But
Mhm,
the letter around, I found out later, the letter was an idea that helped the minister get the word out, and that was through the tape.
mhm.
Mm.
Reduce the tape
Wow.
and how to do the processing right on location. And to this day, I was like happy to be a part of that process.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm surprised that you still remember that. In fact, and I try to tell Sister Tisha this all the time. When just we sitting having dinner or having a cup of coffee, and she's always asking me like, "What was that like? Like you all were just rolling with the ministers, just rolling all the time." And people don't understand that we, as Brother Earl just said, we didn't think like, okay, we might lose our job, and we might, because we had some jobs, but if the job interfered with us going with him, we salute the job owner and roll out.
You'll find another job.
Um,
Wow.
you
Right.
know,
Because y'all wasn't
and,
worrying about PTO. Y'all was just gone. I was like, what? The stories that Tom tells, y'all just left.
And
And
when the
did we had to
minister's gonna be in so and so, we out.
there y'all was out. Yeah.
If we on
Wow.
the job, we will log off the job. All right,
that's right.
we got emergency. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Wow.
And we had, and I think it was a benefit, Brother Earl, to be on the East Coast
yeah,
where we could get nearly everywhere by train. We didn't start buying cars until later, in a few years from then. But we would hop on. We knew every SEPTA route, New Jersey Transit, Amtrak,
New
New
York.
York Metro trains. Look at Tisha's face, like, oh my, that's a lot of trains and buses. She don't do trains and
Made a
buses.
car.
We'll talk. That's a whole separate episode of the program with her and her public
The
transportation
word,
thing.
the word was get there, get there.
Get there, and we had to do it, and we didn't. Only I remember in those days, Brother Marvin had a car
The Nova,
that blue Nova, and we
Not
used
the
to
Nova.
roll up and oh
the
yeah, it was a
first,
Royal Blue,
first
a
temple,
seven.
the first temple when the rebirth in the Nova. A lot of meat
Yes, sir.
in there. A lot of meat.
Yes, sir. So, Tisha, you said you wanted to ask Brother Earl about how we got some of the supplies that we got
Right.
early.
Because you say you were part of the rebuilding, right?
Yes,
In the
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Photoi. And so
Mhm.
I heard that you had some input on how the brothers got their FOI uniforms.
Oh, yes,
Quite
ma'am.
interesting. Could you share with us
Yes,
what you
well, again, of course, a lot of people believed that the nation wasn't going to return, so we went
Mhm.
everywhere from door to door to cleaners to people that used to make the uniforms, and we were blessed to get them. And at the first Savings Day, we represented well. We also have another brother who's still standing with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Brother Wazir,
Yes, sir.
who at the time he was with the Ansar community. He and his family gave us the first batch of the original NDT uniforms. So Philadelphia came in with all the original colors, from yellow, purple, pink, any color you can name. Philly had it, and the uniforms, we came in with the FOI coats. So we introduced a lot. And matter of fact, even the Piscott or the Garrett and the Fezzes, we sent them from Philadelphia up to Chicago to supply
Now,
in the
yeah,
beginning.
that Piscott flight cap,
Yeah,
or some people call it a cadet cap.
right.
And I'm going to ask the mystery man to get a photograph of Savior's Day 81. You'll see
But it's like
our brother Salim,
captains.
Captain Salim, standing behind the minister on front rostrum. This is February 22nd, 1981, at the Congress Auditorium in Chicago, Illinois. This was our first Savior's Day after 1975. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan there at the rostrum with his arms outstretched. And behind him, you see Brother Salim with that interesting modern novel headgear.
Yes.
Brother Earl, tell us about the design of that cap and where that came from.
Well, the original design was for the junior FOIs at the time.
Okay.
You look at some of the earlier editions of Muhammad Speaks, you will see it. But we just wanted to bring back anything and everything that would put the messenger into the minds of the people. So we brought that back, and we sent it. And when I got to Chicago, I seen Brother Salim with it, so I was happy that it was accepted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you look right under the minister's left elbow and go directly downward in the photograph, seated on front rostrum, is our guest tonight, Brother Earl.
Yes.
At that time, Brother Earl CX,
Crazy.
seated right in front of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on the honor guard for Savior's Day. Can you imagine what a great honor that is? Whew. Man.
Sir.
Man. Tell us, Brother Earl, what was the feeling like that day as a member of that honor guard team? What do you
Well,
remember about
the
that?
two parts of that was when Supreme Captain at the time, Brother was it
Brother Theron Maki.
Theron, he walked up, but we always in ranks, and he said, "Captains," all the captains said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Send me your best." And I think Allah at the time I was chosen to be put on that post.
Yes, sir.
And then we marched literally from that spot, from the hotel over to the stopping traffic and everything.
Yes, sir.
To the
Yes,
rock.
sir.
So when
Yes,
no
sir.
security breach, no nothing, straight to the rock.
That's right. That's right. You wasn't going to get out of those ranks and break that rank. Um, Brother producer, if you put that picture back up, I'll show y'all something else you might laugh at in that photo.
Hey.
If you look, you'll see some other folks and I'll come to the obvious one last, but you'll
General.
see right there under the minister's outstretched right hand, you see without the headgear, that is our brother, the General,
Yeah.
Minister Abdul Karim Muhammad,
No doubt.
still with us, still going strong from his
Yes.
operational base in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Special recognition to him. He is the rock. And as the minister said, now I don't mean the rock in the sense that Abdul Rahman, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan once said of Brother Kareem that no one in the rebuilding had helped him as much as that man, Minister Abdul Karim Muhammad, who
Facts.
was serving as a minister in New York at that time.
Yeah.
To his right, and also you see him sitting there with the long silky hair. No, he doesn't have long, but that's brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad. All right, Dr. Khalid
Yes,
seated
sir.
there. Next to him with the glasses is Minister Louis Shaka Al Nur, who was our minister in Atlanta, Georgia at the time in the southern region. And right in front of Brother Louis Shaka Al Nur is me. That's actually me. That's Brother Jamil.
It is.
You say, well, Brother Jamil, at that time you was about half the man you are today. And I just tell you to be quiet and leave me alone. Okay. So
Very much
but this is a very historic photo. And Brother Earl, you've mentioned marching across the street so as not to break the security protocol.
That's
What
right.
what did you mean by that? So
Mhm.
what?
Which you can't go nowhere and get last, can't get missing. Once you was chosen for that post,
Mhm.
that was it. So you wasn't gonna get. We gave you word that you was here to minister with your life, and that's what we did.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. And really been doing it ever since. Now, remember that's February 1981. And when the Supreme Captain called to his captains in the cities, bring me your best. To have been selected for that was an amazing honor.
Yes,
And
sir.
it still resonates in the minds of brothers to this very day. I can bear witness to that. It's one of the proudest moments in your life to stand with that man then and be standing with him now. Go ahead, Brother Earl.
And the spirit was so high, brother. I mean, just being transparent. I thought the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was gonna walk out on this stage. That's
Oh
how
wow.
Mhm.
powerful that day was. I mean, the momentum, the energy. I wasn't moving out that seat unless something else was going down. So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah,
And it's funny that we talked about Brother Earl later on, and as years went by, and Sister Tisha, you opened up something when you asked that question.
Well,
But
what?
about how the early days were and how we secured the materials and got things started. But all of us who were on rostrum that day, we were ready. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you ask Brother Nate, Brother Marvin is gone, and Brother Arthur Forex is gone. May Allah be pleased with them. But
amen.
years later, we would see those brothers and they would say, if something had gone down there that day, then we were going to make sure we took the brunt of it and gave 10 times worse
Yes, sir.
to those who came to disrupt the hearing of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
And Eric,
You
Eric
knew
23,
what was
Eric 23 was 2 months far left. Eric 23 is.
That's right, Eric 23.
what
Hmm.
was so interesting about me though. He didn't really touch on it when I was hearing about how you obtained the uniforms. What was so fascinating, like all excuses were removed. Because like he said, the nation had fallen and nobody thought it would rise again. But it's like he's like, no, we coming back. The minister said we coming back, and he said he went to all the cleaners and the original makers, and whoever left they go. He's gathering uniforms or what have you. These are the uniforms that people left. Like, yeah, we're not doing that no more. But I was like, yes, we are, and got them. That was
Hmm.
fascinating. The
Yeah.
minister called, and y'all was like, we're gonna be ready.
I mean,
We're gonna be ready. No excuse.
even down to pens, jewelry, books, tapes. At that time, it was reel to reels.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Anything that dealt with the nation, we was coming for it. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
and
I'm glad
I
you
wanted
did.
to ask you, Brother Earl, I used to see you with a beautiful ring that sat up off your finger. It was a ruby, an authentic ruby with a diamond encrusted gold star and crescent. And
yeah,
it sat up like a crown on your finger. And you talked about how you were able to locate numbers of those jewelry items. I mean, how did that happen in the early dark days of rebuilding? And the reason why I'm asking the question is because I don't want folks to think that the nation just sprung into existence as it is today.
Right.
In the early days of rebuilding, we were laughed at for
yeah.
wearing bow ties.
Mm.
Ah, that's over with. Get that out of here. Nobody gonna do that. We were laughed at for wearing high top Stacy's with a shine on that biscuit toe.
And
And we
also,
were laughed at for that. How did you go about getting these? I know George 19, Ali, or something. I used to hear the old stories, but how
yeah,
did that go?
but George 19 had the permission from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He had the actual die, but he wanted at that time was like 10 grand for it, but we couldn't afford that. So we just went from anywhere that anybody said they used to be or they're not down with it. We asked for it. We asked for it. We paid for it. We'll get it. So
Mm.
that was the spirit. So if you ain't down with it no more, hand it over. We'll take it from you.
Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And yes, and
Wow. You are watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. And as you can tell, we are into a beautiful discussion. You're right, Brother Lyle. Brother Lyle said this is beautiful history, Brother Earl.
Yes.
And we're into the
I want
discussion with,
I want to be transparent about something. This
yes, sir.
how serious me and brother Eric were at the time.
Hmm.
There was a fez at Washington D.C. in a case at
Not
the original fez at the Mosque number 4.
the
Hmm.
green one.
Yes. So we went to go get that thing. You know what I'm saying? But when we got there, we got ourselves together and we didn't get it. But I heard later that it was actually presented to the minister
Mm-hmm.
later in years. But that was coming out of there.
Yes, sir.
That was the spirit. But when we got there to visit, we actually went to visit. And brother said, "Well, brother, why you still got that pen on?" I said, "Well, it wasn't my father's, but I just told him it was my father." I said, "Well, brother, you can't just erase the history. That's why my dad. Like, why would you?"
Mm-hmm.
When you go to a museum in American history, they have the first uniform. They have everything from those eras all the way up to present. So you don't get rid of anything, whether the doctrine changed or not. You don't get rid of anything. That's when we started plotting on the feds. You know what I mean? And we was like, man, let's go. And then by Allah's grace, they gave it to the minister later on. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. You're listening to Brother Earl. We're coming up on the bottom of the hour, but I think we have time for a couple of more questions. Tisha, can we get in a couple more questions, please?
Right. Well, Dave C asked, let me see. Would you say your exposure to Islam as a child propelled you or molded your faith?
Ironically, this is the situation. So again, I have to be transparent. I had 3 other older siblings. They experienced both parents going to the mosque, going to Savior's Days, listening to way of what they call it back then, the monitors, at the what they call it, at the arena, those type of events. When I was born, they were in the middle of the separation. So, but they were my quote unquote step brothers and sisters, but I was from my dad's loins, so I believe genetically I embodied it that way. So it was just in me, and the more quote unquote that mom wasn't dealing with it, the more I wanted it. Yes. And then unfortunately I was 12, my mother passed, and she passed in 1969. I was 12 years old. So then that's when I again went into the group home situation. And then that's when I was able to make my own decisions, And I've been carrying and searching for the banner and carrying the banner ever since I found it.
Yes, sir. Brother, I want to salute you and thank you. As this segment of the program, we pause. We're going to put a pause in it for a moment, but I want to just thank you for your stand for Islam. You always been my big brother. You always helped me. And the times before either of us were married and we used to stay in one house with all the brothers, and Brother Earl was the chef. And Brother Earl cooking is the reason why I don't eat egg salad to this day. I don't want no more egg salad. I don't want nothing to do with no egg salad. Brother Earl don't come around here with no egg salad. but we had enough to eat, and we counted our paper money, and we shined our shoes and made sure our clothes were clean, and we went back out the next day to drive and push the program. And for that, I'm so grateful for the experiences that helped to make us men and help to build our backbone for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's something here, brother, and I'm going to leave. We go to the bottom. I know, teacher, we got to go to the bottom, but in just a moment, Brother Leroy Rasan Rich says in Philadelphia, he comments, he said, "Oh, the revisionists don't like this." He says, "Bring it, Brother Earl. There are just a few left here in Philly that know this history." And Brother Earl sharing with us tonight is such an important point. When we come back from the break, I want to ask Brother Earl about the other cities as you traveled early in the rebuilding, and then how you became an entrepreneur and a real Philadelphia legend of the repository of some great history. So we'll be back after this message from Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil.
And Sister Tisha.
Sister Tisha, Mr. Price.
That's us. We'll be back.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Woo! Assalamu alaikum, family. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
We want to thank you for taking the time to tune into Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil
and Sister Tisha. We thank you for every Thursday night joining us for appointment viewing. 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to come in on the p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Thursday nights by YouTube, by Facebook, by Instagram, by all the other means by which we can be seen. But we thank you, because without you, as a matter of fact, here the Manhattans, there's no me without you.
We always do that. Assalamu alaikum.
There's no me.
You didn't say assalamu alaikum. You didn't say assalamu alaikum.
Oh, assalamu alaikum. And now I can sing more of the song, Tisha, if you would like. I can go back into that for you. No? More Brother Earl?
No. We have so much to hear from Brother Earl. Next time, maybe.
But it's real. Something came to mind. I want to mention real quick.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you as well, because your value to the minister, and for you to entrust me to travel with you through these different cities, and that really meant a lot to me. And also, you learned your knowledge of clothing and fabric and all that really made a great impact in my life. So I want to thank you for those two things.
All praise is due to Allah. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan told me, dear brother, he said, brother, when you walk as a minister or a representative of this teaching, he said, when you walk with the brothers who are watching out for you on security or, looking out for your safety, he said, the enemy, when seeing you coming and moving through the public, should never be able to tell who's who. It shouldn't look like a person who's a principal and then there's somebody else who's bodyguarding them. He said it should look like 2 or 3 friends walking down the street.
Okay.
And this is a truth. Brother Earl has always been my friend and my brother. And therefore, we were learning together, growing together, traveling together. We had to sleep in small hotel rooms. And one night, brother, I know you might not remember because you were sleeping soundly when I was disturbed this night. But we were out in Indiana one night, brother. And we were in a hotel they used to call a Knight's Inn. And Knight's Inn is not the Waldorf Astoria, okay? And they had a purple crushed velvet spread.
Nice.
And so I'm sleeping sitting up like that. I'm just sleeping sitting up, just mad. And Brother Earl, he just sleeping like a log. Next day, he was great. He was, let's have a cup of coffee, keep on rolling. It was great. But we made it around the country because of that. What cities were most interesting to you back then? I mean, where did you find things happening all the time? I know New York was always popping for us, but what else impressed you as we moved around?
I liked it. I liked the different ways brothers moved in St. Louis, Baltimore, DC, of course, Plainsville.
Yes.
I mean, everywhere pretty much we went. It was a certain few brothers that were there in the beginning that you would look for. Of course, it grew from 4 or 5 brothers to a lot of brothers, but you always look for those certain core brothers to let you know that everything is the way it's supposed to be. So that was the spirit right there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
One time we had to get to Atlantic City, and the minister was speaking, but we had another engagement, but we came in on a lean camel, so I had the little Photoi camera. So you was dressed, I wasn't dressed, so we were stopping couples. So we started with, I think the pack of film was like $10, but we ended up $100 that day.
Yeah.
We take some pictures, we go back buy some more film to the guys, so we didn't have more film. So then we said, we don't need no room anyway. Let's just stay up until the next day.
Oh wow.
That's right. We made that money on the boardwalk. And so Nucky Thompson and Chalky White wasn't the first ones making money on the boardwalk. Okay. So
wait, what were y'all doing? Taking pictures of people?
Right. We had no money.
Right.
Okay.
But Brother Earl had that Polaroid with that brown leather case on it.
And he had the language and the words, and they
Right.
would be like, all right, I'll take the picture. All right.
So we
Awesome.
so
And
we lost some.
we did it again too. We did it again when we went to at Lobby Please with to Mother Farrakhan's funeral up in Boston. We did it. We had to do it again. We put some money in our pocket. We came from another city, and went back to Philly. We have to keep going straight down. So.
That's right. That's right, Brother Earl. What about the time when you escorted Minister Rasul? Tell us about that, because Minister Rasul is another soldier minister. He's out there really pushing that program in the streets and highways and byways. But when Brother Earl and Brother Rasul get together, now you know that's a good story.
Yeah, I think I worked with him when he did the homeless project with the for Savior's Day. I think he brought in like 100 or 200 homeless people. He gave him a section. He hit a minister. I worked with him with that piece there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But literally, having walked with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, people want to know, and it's going to go in the chat. I might as well ask before it gets in the chat, comments and questions. How is it that the minister came to call you the loving name that he calls you? Because whenever he sees Brother Earl, he stops, he looks, he said, Philly Slim. And he always calls you Philadelphia Slim. How did that come about, Brother Earl?
I think it was from the two-tones specs I used to wear, the two-tone black and whites.
Yes, sir.
Plus, I would always be by the door. So when he had guests come in his room, I would never go stand by him. I always stand by the door. And one day he just named me that. So that was my holy name.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's interesting to see a man like Brother Earl, a legend in his own time, in his own city, and around the rest of the nation. And you can see from his facial expression as he tells these stories, you see how his eyes get soft, Sister Tisha, and he's thinking about it and almost blushing when he thinks about the minister.
He's
I'm
my
not saying,
favorite.
I mean, I know you
So
hard. I know you hardcore, brother. I know you know, I mean, but it moves you to think
somebody said
how blessed we are, you know?
Well, one thing about, again, going back to getting those treasures, we were actually Brother Jabril in Lobby Cleveland. He brought a picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saluting. You might have seen it a few times. And he said he never seen it. So I guess he never seen it in the form of a picture. And he actually purchased it from us. And then we had a little rough spot where some people was upset that we were selling things, but the minister shut everything down. So look, he told me, anything that's going to put the messenger into the minds of the people, do it. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They didn't say that back then. I was saying say less.
Say less. Say less, brother. Yeah.
I'm gonna move out on that. So.
In the chat room,
somebody's asking for you to explain this. They want you to break that down a little bit before you move off of that.
Oh, two-tone. That's the two-tone like Stacey Adams. It's two-tone, two colors.
Okay.
Two colors.
It's actually, the technical name is a wingtip spectator shoe. Right. It's an Oxford with an open lacing pattern.
That's what I'm talking about. See? No. It is.
But it's a beautiful shoe. It's black, shiny black with pure white in the middle. Brother Earl used to drape it with a black, and he did a black single-breasted, all business, crisp white shirt, red bow tie. Then he put the straw on top of it. It was over with that. I told my wife before the show, I'm total disclosure tonight to the family, but I told the wife, I said we used to go out to West Philly. Passyunk homes for sure.
Yeah.
And on 24th and Passyunk in South Philadelphia. And then when we went up to Richard Allen and Johnson homes on Ridge Avenue in Philadelphia, the Soldier, Brother Earl was our attraction to bring the people out. Because we would go up and we'd make Brother Earl wait. And then all the ladies would say, where's Brother Earl? Is Brother Earl coming with y'all today? We said, ma'am, we just need y'all to get these papers so he can come on out. And they would get the papers, and then we would bring our Brother Earl the fish.
They still do that, though. I saw it when we went to Philly.
Stop.
Brother Earl. I said, oh.
Brother Earl was
I don't know if you remember the new poster that I created.
Which one?
What happened was I was at the Blue Horizon. The minister was speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So again, they needed somebody for the hotel room. So I was at the hotel, and just the barber, the only person that was allowed to cook on the East Coast, well, in the area, in Delaware Valley anyway, for Minister Farrakhan, they brought the food in.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody knows the barber's cooking, man, I'm like,
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And she's on the broadcast. She's here with us tonight.
oh,
Sister
sounds like
Barbara's here. I bear witness. I still go to Wilmington to get those something. She tell me, don't come to town looking for a plate. I said, "Wait." But anyway, go ahead, brother.
So the food was just banging. So I'm fighting it. And actually, it was my birthday too, the same day at the Blue Horizon. So I'm like, all right, I got to taste this food. As soon as I go to taste the food, put it on the plate, the door opens. The E-team and the minister comes in. So they all stop. So I snap to attention. I say, what you doing, brother? So I'm the food taster, sir. I'm tasting the food. Make sure it's here. They didn't let that down for about 6 months. Everywhere I go, but you gotta taste this food later on, right? Oh my God. But
all in the pots early.
all in the pot, I couldn't handle it. It was good. It was good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're listening to Brother Errol C. Muhammad. This is our brother, the Philadelphia legend and national treasure of the Nation of Islam, on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Tisha, any question that you have for our brother before we go back to the chat?
Well, I was going to ask the question, but somebody already beat me to it in the chat. So somebody in the chat was asking, did you ever think about writing a book? But Brother Earl has captured his history in a different way. We want him to talk about what he does with his photos. Doesn't he have everything photographed? Aren't you a photographer?
Yes.
Go into that. Share that.
Well, actually, I am in the process of. I'm going to do both. The book part, I want to actually do it 12 chapters. I'm trying to find 12 people or 11 other people from the same era to put their chapter in, and we'll put together like that. So that'll be volume 1, the first 12, then the next 12 will be volume 2, and then so forth, so forth. As far as the pictures, in 2000, or I say the end of 1999, I had a fire. So I lost a lot of stuff, but we still have a lot of the negatives with salvage. So we have to really go through them and see what we have. So I do have the last picture of Biggie Smalls in Philadelphia performing. I do have James Brown kicking the mic and Philadelphia. So I have a lot of unique things. But the thing about them, film, you might have 5 different events on one little strip. So I have to go through all of them to make sure I tag them right. But so that'll be part of the book as well. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's interesting also with you as the originator of the photo posse. How do you keep that business still alive? Because the photo posse is still vibrant, still recording, still shooting events, still shooting, publishing things in the city, and still being published in the Final Call.
yes.
So how do you keep it going like that as an entrepreneur, as a leader in the business community?
Well, let me start with this. The reason why I started Photo Posse again was actually your former not your former your brother-in-law, brother Captain Sharif. When we would travel with the minister, by him having businesses, he was able to call. If we go to another city and don't go back home to refuel, he can go to the next city. So I'm like, I want to do that. So I said, well, but I got to find a business that I can, fuel me when we traveling with the minister. So that's when we started the Photo Posse, and that was in 1987. So that was the real reason it started, and then the whole idea was again to bring photographers together, and we kind of support each other and back each other up, and go from there. So Allah has blessed me to have had. We had an office in Atlanta, and we had an office in Chicago. So those 2 locations have closed. I have talked to Brother Wayne out in Oakland. He might be starting Photo Posse out there. And so we're just trying to keep it going and bring in new young brothers and sisters that want to learn the craft and keep it going.
Yes, sir. I'd like to just make sure that folks can contact Photo Posse. If we can, please put up the website, the contact information for Photo Posse. If you want to take photographs or you have photographs that you'd like to see presented, then contact Brother Earl. He can actually curate and organize your photographs and historic records in such a way that you will be proud of them and so will your family. That's going to be flashing on your screen in just a moment. But I have to also tell you, oh, yes, go ahead, Tish.
So do you take like family portraits and photos of people too?
Yeah, do family portraits. My passion is like entertainment, um, um, uh, entertainment.
Mhm.
But I do portraits, weddings, graduations.
Nice.
Yeah, anything to do with photography except for aerial photography. So we do everything.
Except for Ariel, right?
Yeah.
But you still, Brother Earl covers the news. I have to tell you, the
Mhm.
Million Man March, the other events that have happened, the things that were going on with Local 1199C, the Healthcare Workers Union in Philadelphia, all the strikes, the various different events concerning Mumia Abu Jamal. And by the way, free Mumia
Yes,
Abu Jamal.
yes.
But see, all of these things that Brother Earl is an actual witness to and a chronicler of, you need to get in touch with Photoposse Studios at gmail.com. It would behoove you.
Let me give
Uh,
you
contact.
my website, photoposse.com.
No,
Mhm.
sir.
Photo.
Photoposse.com.
Posse.com. We have
Mm-hmm.
some pictures too, that we could share. Just a few shots, things that we have. And maybe he can take a few minutes just to explain some of those to us.
All right, well, let's take a look, Brother Earl. We got some show. We're going to show some photo posse pics. You tell us the history behind each one we show. Brother Earl may not know all of the photos that are about to shine up, but let's take a look. If we can get a mystery man somewhere, I don't know who he might be, but let's get the mystery man to pop a photo. Oh, there he
Oh
started.
man. So that had to be, you see McCormick in the background.
Hmm.
Yeah.
84.
Right. So that's Savior's Day. Brother Marvin, you, myself. Yeah. I miss Brother Marvin. Good brother.
Yes, sir. I miss Mom. That's right.
That's the one that had the Nova. That's the one.
Yes, that's
Yes.
that.
Oh my
The
God.
and he had a Nova and some fly gazelles. As you can see,
Oh
he
yeah,
has a fly
yeah,
gazelle.
yeah. Represent.
I only met Brother Marvin once, and he was fly when I met him.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Sensei,
Yes, indeed.
Sensei in the house.
Yes, sir. That's Professor James, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. One of the baddest rumblers in America. Sweetheart of a guy. You would never know that he could literally kill you with two fingers. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Secret.
oh, that ring you talking about? That's I had that on that. I had lost that ring unfortunately, but I have it there. Had it there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
it's sitting fat on that finger. Okay. Okay.
Don't start no rumors now. Don't start no
Sorry.
rumors.
No, no rumors. Okay, brother. No
Next.
rumors.
Oh, the
Oh,
squad. Squad. Okay, but Shaheed, but Marvin, Kevin Brown, Captain Jeffrey, Brother Mr. Jamil. Yeah, I
uh-huh.
don't know what we was on that day. We probably was just about to go out or coming back from Soldier.
Yeah, we had to be going soldier, but behind the camera, Brother Earl, you can see the beginning stages of his photographic eye. Look at the composition. Look how he frames the photo. Look at this. I mean, that's good work there, brother. And two of the brothers in the middle, the two brothers standing in the middle, may Allah be pleased with them. They're not with us anymore, but we soldiered hard,
Yes.
and we were together every day, and we
Every
made this thing happen. And there was nothing that we were the people who did the impossible stuff. And you know, praise be to Allah. Allah blessed us.
man. And at some point, we didn't even need no phone. We would just tune in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Tune in
there
right in.
were no cell phones, pagers, none of that.
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
we had to be connected, and we rolled together. Yes, sir. Oh, it's another good one.
Wow.
Brother Marcus on the upper right with the suspenders on. May Allah be pleased with him. That's our brother, the former minister of Jacksonville, Florida, from up out of Baltimore. We must have been in Baltimore, huh, Brother Earl?
Right. I think we was going to bring brother to Chicago. We was playing the trip, I believe. What year was that? I don't remember what year that was.
That might be like, I'm thinking early 90s, maybe 1991 or so.
Right.
Because you see, Brother Abdul Rasul at the lower left, Minister Abdul Rasul Muhammad, known to many as Brother Fontaine, still
Right.
there in his hometown of Baltimore. And then on the lower right there, you see Idris Elba, who was in town visiting for
Oh,
a movie.
I don't
Tisha,
see
what?
him. I don't see him. Where?
Okay, what these we're back in the day, soldiering, brother, and getting this work done. All praise is due to Allah.
Wow.
Wow. Ah, classic Brother Earl. Now you
Yeah.
have to tell us about the hat, Brother Earl, because Brother Dave C is going to ask about the hat. Um,
Actually, I got that one from Ron Welch. Yeah,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
yeah, he was having a clearance, and I showed up.
Yeah.
But
Apparently, you showed out.
thanks to you, I knew how to put it together. You know what I'm saying?
Praise due to Allah. So that you had the green velour on, brother. Hey, that's just this
Oh,
year at Savior's Day, isn't it?
recent. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
yeah.
just a few months ago at Savior's Day in Detroit.
I was in
Yes,
another
sir, brother.
green state of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Praise be to Allah. Green and growing. All right, all right. Well, and of course, in the FOI uniform. You mentioned something earlier, brother, about FOI overcoats. Could
Oh
you
yes,
explain
sir.
what that is? What now?
Yeah.
How does that
Actually, I'm
work?
in the process of looking for those again because I had talked to Brother Christopher, but I'm gonna talk to Brother Ryan. I want to bring that back because that was one of the originals. Um,
Hmm.
is it on? I remember we went to one of the drill competitions. That was a highlight, and we all the lieutenants and the DIs stepped on the stage with the coach.
That
And
was that was in '83,
'83, right?
the year that we really won, but they gave it to LA.
Right,
That
right.
way, so it
Side,
was. I mean,
side step,
yeah,
side.
oh, the side step was cold, and
Yeah,
don't forget the box step and the flank way to the rear.
yeah. I mean, I give them that. They got that.
Yeah, they look good. They look good. LA look good.
The
They had the
helmet was
brothers.
cracked. The helmets with the abs. Oh
Oh
my.
yeah, the helmets and the ascots knocked them out.
Yeah.
I wish we had
Yes,
pictures
indeed.
of it. I
Yes,
want to
indeed.
They out there. We got to start
find them.
putting all together. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask my last question, and Sister Teacher will ask hers. I want to be very brief, brother. What would you leave us with as advice for young brothers who want to continue to help this nation advance? We're living in a time now when this is the greatest generation ever to come. These young brothers and sisters now. What would you give them in the way of advice of how to do what you have done to remain steadfast for decades at a time?
I would say overall, which I've been telling a lot of brothers actually recently, enjoy your Islam.
Mm,
That's very key. Focus on your happiness. Focus on you know doing for self, and but mainly enjoy your Islam. That's very key. A lot of us are maybe too rigid or too I just leave it at rigid, but you got to enjoy your Islam. That's
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir. Sister Tisha, as always, the last word between you and the guest is very powerful. Anything that you wanted to ask our guest, Brother Earl, before
Uh-oh.
we wrap up and get ready to be
Deep,
dismissed?
get deep. Uh-oh.
no, no, it's not. I just wanted to ask you, of course, just put you on the spot just a little bit to ask if you would come back and do a part two in the next upcoming months because there's so much that you didn't get a chance to touch on, and we want to give you.
Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That'd
I
be
want to
honest.
also thank you for coming on and taking this time to share some of your experiences with us because these kind of conversations is what helps us who weren't around at the time or maybe who are just new to the nation helps us fall in love deeper with what we already love about the nation but just learning our history and being able to talk to somebody who helped who was there and help pave the way who can answer our questions who can share pictures that is a gift a jewel a treasure and so I thank you for sharing that with us and sharing that with the youth and I just ask that you come back again and do more.
Will do.
Okay.
Just
All
say the
right.
word.
Yeah.
Oh,
Word.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So much. And as the Rockwell
appreciate
Radio Show, which is our network partner at Closing the Gap Network, we want to encourage you to
Well,
watch all of the programs on Closing the Gap Network, especially the Rockwell Radio Show. That thank you for your comment. And he reminds us at hashtag enjoy your Islam. And we ought to make that a hashtag, what Brother Earl is advising us tonight. Islam need not make you moribund and dull and dry and boring. Islam is a way of life, and it's a way of invigorated life. I
Yeah.
can't think of a time, Brother Earl, that we didn't have a great time doing what we did. We went through stressful situations. We fought against and defended ourselves against aggressive police.
That's right. Hand to hand combat.
Right, and came out better. And look, and then we didn't lose the battle with the police.
Not at all.
Praise be to Allah. And so that may be a story that Brother Earl will tell when he returns.
You.
But you know, this is the reason why when you make up your mind to be a brother to your brothers, to be a brother to your sisters, and to be a citizen of your nation, your whole life takes on a meaning and a joy that I can't even describe how great it really is. And one of the greatest proponents of it is with us tonight. His name is Brother Errol C.X., Errol C. Muhammad. And Brother Earl is a brother that you definitely want to talk with. Brother Earl, is there a way folks can contact you for business?
Oh
Leave
yeah,
your number if you
yeah.
need to leave the number. We've already seen the website and the email, but we want to make sure you can get in touch with Brother Errol. Go right ahead, sir.
Again, photoposse.com, or they can reach me at 267-233-7114. And we're on the gram at photoposse87.
Bodie Posse 87. You can't miss it. It's not like there's 86 other photo posses, but that means that 87 is the year that Photo Posse was founded. Sister Tisha, close out the housekeeping. I'm just gonna stare at Brother Earl and think about that egg salad while you talk.
Thank you again for having me on.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
brother.
that. And we would just want to thank everyone for joining us for another wonderful episode of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. I encourage you to come back next Thursday, same time, same place. Bring a friend. Share the podcast. Go back to our YouTube page, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha, and like, share, and subscribe. And then go over to our Facebook page. Right now, it's just my page, Tisha Muhammad, but like, share, and subscribe.
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
sir.
There'll be much more. We thank Allah for you joining us, and we thank you, Brother Errol. May Allah bless you. Be safe, my dear brother,
Y'all as
as you
well.
move around. Thank you so much for viewing and listening, and to everyone who weighed in the chat. For those who didn't get a chance to, whether you visited from the East Coast, from the West Coast, as we see, from down south, from up north, and from every corner of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, represented here tonight, and we're so grateful that everyone could join us. We here at Nothing But the Truth strive to bring you the very best in information and inspiration. And that lady that's seated here on this video, you see her right there. You see her right there. She is over there. That's 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 the great. And humble harmony. I couldn't have said it better myself. Peace and love, and for the sake of the Lord, no more egg salad. We're out of here. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum. We'll see you next week.
Like family.